All right, it's time for episode 158 of Fine Music. We reached the self-indulgent portion, like I always look forward to, because I just can't compete with these guys, man. They know so much. They're so much more experienced with music than I am. But I find things here and there because I'm a musical explorer. I like to find music that yes. Maybe it's more groove or music oriented than word oriented. And this one in particular that I'm thinking of is a band called Sleepy Sun. And they have been around, well, the heyday I've got here is 2009 to 2017. And they remind me of another band called Cigarettes After Sex. I don't know if you know that band.
No.
I should talk about them too. But basically, Sleepy Sun, they have two incarnations. When they first got together, you had a female lead singer. And so they sounded like the Doors with a female singer. If that's the best comparison I can make. And then she left the band after the first two albums. And they soldiered on without adding a singer. They had someone take it over. I guess that's like Genesis. So I'll just show you the albums real quick here. So the first album is called Embrace. My introduction to the band though came with the later albums. And then with the earlier ones, I discovered, wow, they were even better with this female singer. So these first two albums, especially the first album, Embrace, are just phenomenal albums. Great musicianship, and she's a great singer. And some of the musical links go a little farther than normal. I love that. I think the videos they had were for New Age. It's a 7-minute song. Spectacular. And Lord. The second album is Fever. And on that one, it was, I think it was called Acid Love, was the video. There might be another one, Open Eyes. Yeah, Open Eyes is the short song, though, only 3.5 minutes. And then you get into the other incarnation. They had an album in between, which I didn't buy because it's not very good. 20, I don't know, between 2010 and 2014. This third album is a transitional album. It's like the band is finding their sound without her. She went on to do some other interesting things with other groups, and I can look that up if anybody wants to know. But these last two albums from 2014 and 2017 were my introduction to the band, and I love their sound, especially Maui Tears, which is 10.5 glorious minutes. Great band. They're just a great band, and their last album was Private Tales, came out in 2017, and it's almost as good as Maui Tears. So maybe that's why they hung it up after that album. I don't know. They weren't getting anywhere. I don't know if they've had much success. I could very quickly try to Wikipedia them. If I stop sharing. Okay, stop sharing. And maybe I'll have some insight. Okay. They even have a Wikipedia entry. Yes, they do. All right. Yeah, see, so here's the details you want. So I'm gonna
member of that band is Brett Constantino. Any relation to
you're looking it up too?
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. Now I don't know about Brett, but it's the female singer. All right, so they're an American psychedelic rock band. Born in Santa Cruz, based in San Francisco. Vocalist Brett Constantino, but he's not the original vocalist because you have to go back. Let's see. Yeah, they formed as Mania in 2005 at UC Santa Cruz by students Brent Constantino met Holman, Evan Rice, Brian Tice, and original bass player Hubert Guy. But it's when they found the addition, a couple years later, they changed their name to Sleepy Sun with the addition of former Birds Fled From Me singer. I got to find out about that band. I got to check it out because Rachel Fannin, she's awesome. They self-released it, got favorable reviews. Guy left the band, new bass player Jack Allen. The album was reissued in 2009 by ATP Recordings. They did a tour. Live show got great reviews. They opened for Arctic Monkeys. You might have heard of them. And then they came out with the second album. And they toured, well, it was recorded in Canada. And then they moved to San Francisco. Why move to San Francisco? Well, not far from Santa Cruz, but maybe more of a base there. But unfortunately, Rachel, she started suffering from mental health problems, so she left the group.
Wow.
And
If you click on her name on the wiki page over there, where it says band
Yeah.
members, you get a picture of her.
you want a picture of her?
I've
Yeah, I like
seen
her. I don't know what she looks like, but I love her voice. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
she is.
Shatter my illusion. There she is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like someone from that era.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to finish off with the second incarnation. Yeah, the band declined to comment on her departure, stated that she's a really beautiful person in a lot of ways. I learned a lot about myself. Fannin returned to Los Angeles. She formed a band called Only You. So and she became a voice actor. Okay, and to her. The third album is called Spine Hits, and the people on Rate Your Music agree with me. It's not as good as the other 4 albums. They said it was recorded in 7 days in Joshua Tree. Wow, yeah, there's been some really good recordings in Joshua Tree. Wow, maybe
That's where Jeanette Napolitano lives,
Yeah.
from Concrete Blonde.
Anyway, just to try to conclude. They formed another band called Fine Points. A couple of the members formed a band called Fine Points in 2013. So it looks like they were having a little financial trouble at that point. Constantino works as a cook to supplement his income. Tice works as a math and physics tutor, teaches microcontrollers. Feel free to step in if you know what prototyping projects are. And so Dynalone Records released the 4th album, Maui Tears, and I got some promotion. That was recorded in Grass Valley, California. So they're still in the Bay Area, right? Northern California band. And so that's about it. 5th album came out, Private Tales, June 2017. And there's nothing else since 2017, except Fever was re-released in 2020. That's it. There's some EPs.
Interesting.
Yep.
Somewhat interesting, but it's far more interesting to listen to the music.
Yeah.
They are a great band. Psychedelic rock. There you go. The Doors with a female lead singer on those first 2 albums. You're going to love it. Embrace and Fever. And then they're a great band even without her on, what were they? Maui Tears and Private Tales. There, I remembered. All right. Passed my Alzheimer's test. Okay, so that's 158. Hope you'll check them out. If you know the band Cigarettes After Sex, they went through a couple of incarnations too. Their first album is different from all the other albums. The first album, they're trying to be like a Depeche Mode. And then they gave up on that. They went more for the shoegazing sound, more dreamy after that. But I prefer the first album for Cigarettes After Sex. I mean, they got wildly popular with their shoegazing, dreamy videos right? If you catch Cigarettes After Sex, that's what you're mainly going to see. But the first album, I'll bring it up real fast because I have it.
I'm gonna have to try out that shoegazing thing.
Yeah, it's dreamy stuff. It's dreamy stuff. It's like airy vocals, and
Pretty interesting.
you're drifting off.
game.
Okay, cigarettes. That's CI. There they are. All right, I'll share this real quick. Because I just can't praise the first album enough. Okay. Let me get my gear straight. So the first album is called Affection, 2011. That's a great record.
Okay.
Love it top to bottom. That's a great record. And then they changed their sound after that to the more shoegazy style. So I guess the album in 2017, which is just called Cigarettes After Sex, right? So they know it's a reintroduction, and it's pretty good. It's all right. It's pretty good. Not as good as the first album, but it's good for what it is. Good enough for me to buy. I guess I filled out the CD with that. Maybe that's the truth. But it was good enough to fill out the CD. Yeah. So Cigarettes After Sex, recommend as well. If you like that alternative sound. Enough said.